Good day, Om Shanti. Welcome to this meditation experience. And today, every day, really, every time we have one of these meditation experiences, really, you've probably figured out we're swirling around the same topic, which is the rebuilding of the self, as if we are recreating ourselves. And, we're going along, we find we're going along on the journey and everything's going swimmingly. And then we make a mistake. Maybe we're not accurate in a decision, or we react in a certain way, or we just forget ourselves. It is said often the greatest mistake is to forget the truth about the self, about others, about the world, even about God. But we make a mistake. Recently, I made a very big mistake. And it's so interesting because I was going to have to try to sort this out. And it was really eating at my head. And then sort of remembering the truth, remembering God, if you will. And such a strong feeling. What benefit is there? There has to be benefits in this. Or at least this is the way I can embrace what has happened. And it was such a game changer. Such a game changer. I started to learn things about myself rather than being upset with the self. I could learn things about myself from the situation that I never would have stopped to think about if it hadn't happened. I actually started to appreciate because it was stopping me from continuing to do something that wasn't beneficial for the self or others. And that's what needed to happen. If I couldn't realize on my own, something from the drama was going to help me to realize how long can we continue doing things in a dysfunctional way. Being involved in movement, the fitness industry, this is a fascinating topic because the powers to look at ourselves with objectivity are not always at their best. And this is very clear in a fitness setting because we're looking at movement, which is very overt. And souls are given correction and they're cued, but still they continue to exercise and exercise, execute the exercise in a way that they're comfortable with, familiar with, that isn't actually accurate and could be quite damaging if it continues over time. Sometimes the damage has to happen because then they realize this has not been accurate. I've been making a mistake all this time. And thank goodness this injury or this issue arose because it's helping me to correct myself. This is the way it goes in school. If I have an exam, I don't answer properly, I make a mistake, and hopefully if it's a good teacher, we learn how to correct the self so that I don't make that mistake again. That's called learning. So to embrace things in my life by learning. But that requires a certain inner environment. So let's go inside and create that kind of inner world where learning and not repentance can happen. Sitting comfortably and hopefully correctly, accurately, the body well aligned. And if it's not, if I'm quiet and listen, I'll be able to feel where there's tension in the body. And that's a signal that all this time I haven't been sitting accurately. Rather than waiting for a pain or injury to happen, let me stop and listen with care. Is there tension anywhere in the body? The lower back, shoulders, upper spine, signs that I'm not in alignment. There's a chance to learn, to correct, but only if I listen with care, very deeply. That's the body. Can I apply that same approach to myself? I come inside to a space I might be quite familiar with if I spend time there. An inner space. Sometimes it's my place of comfort, like coming to home base. Sometimes it's my place of learning, my inner classroom. And sometimes it's my place of deep reflection, my inner meditation. Same space and very related activity. This inner classroom, this inner place of comfort, this place of deep reflection, where I feel the most real. I come into that space and take a moment to assess how it's built. What are the walls of this inner space built from? What is the atmosphere in this inner space? Is this inner space built from, filled with feelings that are conducive to my own personal growth? Are there any vibrations of impatience, violence, harshness, tension, judgment? Or is this space filled with almost the qualities of a mother? Lots of patience, lots of understanding, tolerance, accommodation, not a trace of judgment, just a keen interest to learn. And is this an honest space, a space where I feel very, very safe, secure, and comfortable being honest with myself? It's almost a relief coming into this space because I can be clear and honest with myself, knowing there's no punishment. I check the qualities of this space. Is it that both comfortable and cooperative with my growth? It's not a space in which I get stuck. I don't grow at all. This space also has determination, discipline, focus, concentration. But again, no violence, no harshness. All of these very powerful qualities of growth are born from love. Love for the self. I want to change. That is, return to my original self, reveal my highest potential. I recognize myself. The walls of this space are built from the greatest gift, which many feel can only come from the all-knowing one, God, this greatest gift of self-recognition. I know myself, my capacity, and I wish to nurture, nourish, and emerge that capacity. Anything that happens during the day, for better or worse, I bring that experience into this space, and it's immediately translated into an opportunity to grow. Not judgment, not shame, not guilt, not unworthiness, not denial, not rationalization. None of these dynamics that keep me stuck or even have me going backwards. Anything that happens in this space is transformed into an opportunity to grow, to learn, to realize, to deepen understanding of myself. This is the most beautiful space, the most powerful space, the most attractive space in my life. Because in this space, I am returning to my true self. It even can attract the attention of God, the divine, always welcoming thoughts about connection with, remembrance of that beautiful being when I am seated in this space. The one being who is completely dedicated to the same objective I have, which is my personal and spiritual development. As I sit in this space, I drink in the atmosphere, that deep love and regard for myself. I, the soul, the wonder of the self. No matter how big an account of mistakes I may have, it does not change the atmosphere of this space. And every time I come into this space, I add more of those feelings to the atmosphere just by recognizing myself. Om Shanti.